What's going on, guys? On the last video we left off with making this jig right here, and this jig is supposed to bolt up to the door bolts here on this A-pillar and the door bolts on that A-pillar. There was a lot of people in the comments that were asking, why don't you just use the dash bar? So I wanted to show you what the dash bar looks like and why I didn't use that. So this is Stevie's car, also right-hand drive. This is how the dash bar mounts up. There is like slotted lines inside of there, so it wouldn't be like an exact measurement, you know, because it's adjustable. And plus these are like pretty flimsy mounts. I didn't really trust using those to like determine the actual width of the car. And if you look at this one, this thing is beefy. I can like pull down right here and it does not flex whatsoever. I definitely trust this way more than using just the stock dash bar. So I hope that answers your questions. And unfortunately, I had to move my car over a little bit in the garage, so I can't take off my door right now. So I'm not able to mount the door jig yet, which is okay because I still have plenty of other things I need to be doing. So I need to finish grinding off all of the extra adhesive that's like on the car or on the trans tunnel or on the firewall, frame rails. So I definitely have a lot of that stuff to be doing, which is the boring stuff. So I'm just gonna knock that out real quick. While I have those major components off, I'm gonna take off the USDM frame rail because it is bent. But I think there's like 1 or 2 spot welds on the bottom here, so just drill that out real quick and then also get this one off. That section should be pretty easy to remake, so I'm not too worried about it. Wow, this thing is so paper thin. Frame rail delete. So lately I've just been grinding away on all the body panels because it's really tedious to do and just needed to knock it out. I didn't really record too much of it because that's not really very interesting to watch. So then my next step is spraying all of those bare metal pieces with weld through primer. I'm gonna ask my friend that works at a body shop what brand they use so I can order a few bottles of those. Then I need to figure out the roof situation. So that one is toast. I am excited to like really start welding on the car, but it's very essential that everything is prepped before we start welding because everything needs to be fitted in its exact location before I can even weld something on there. If I start welding like the half cut on the car but I don't have the trans tunnel or the firewall mounted, then there's a possibility that the dimensions will be off. So I definitely want to mount all of the panels and maybe even put some self-tappers in just to like hold them in place. So that's ultimately why I haven't started welding, but it will come. Gotta trust the process. I can't rush it. I just washed the Integra. It's been a while. But one thing that's been bothering me is just how foggy the headlights have gotten. I feel like everyone has their own like special method for polishing their headlights. I've heard a lot of people say toothpaste. Have you guys tried toothpaste to like polish your headlights? I just picked up this little headlight restoration kit, so let's see how that turns out. It's already getting noticeably cleaner. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at this one and then look at this one. Sweet, that's exciting. So one of the steps on this kit is sanding off some of the oxidation. Man, this thing is looking so clear now. Wow. What a difference. That's insane. Well, note to self, definitely wash the car after instead of before, but I'm very happy with these results. It looks almost brand new. I can't say brand new because it's kind of yellowing out in there. But that's right. Maybe in the future we'll crack them open and redo the insides or something like that. But for now, that's pretty sweet. Well, I didn't have time to finish my headlight earlier, so we're gonna do it right here at a car meet. What's up, Nate?
What's going on?
The old Civic hatch. Today we want to redo the wastegate dump. Right now it's going straight onto an intercooler pipe in front of the turbo. So you can't even run an intake filter. And it's his daily. What should we do? Through the hood, through the headlight, through the fender? I guess we'll find out. Gee, got the new welder. Gonna set it up, put it to good use. Oh, look who's here.
Dude, I'm here to chill. Woo. It felt nice to drive out here too. It's beautiful outside. Pop.
Uh-oh, what are we doing with this?
So this is a spare RB manifold that we're gonna use for the Civic project.
This tubing size is close enough that we can use to extend the wastegate pipe. So yeah, guess we're gonna chop this thing up. Dude, talk about driveway gold.
I'm slaving away at this edit and it better go viral. Everyone go to my TikTok right now and blow that up. It's gonna have Mike in it.
What's your TikTok?
No JZX Tim. I don't have one, and that's why.
Imagine you're just looking at the Google Maps Street View and you come across a house like this. This car is actually sick. This is like the cleanest CRX I have ever seen. JDM SI. Like what? Oh, SIR. Like, jeez. Yeah, this thing is mint. Super sick. And then we got the work truck.
Yeah.
Well, after any modification, you gotta take a test drive. Well, I'd say that was a success. It's way less screamy now.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. Sounds awesome.
What do you guys think? I've been putting this off for a while, but I really need to put this wing on Fran's car, but I've been way too nervous to drill the holes in this perfect condition trunk. I don't know of any other 240 owner that has a trunk with no factory holes. This trunk never had a wing on it, never had a wiper from the factory, and still has a third brake light and the original Nissan logo. And it's rust free. So yeah, I really don't want to drill this trunk, and that's why I've been putting it off so long, but it needs the wing. I feel like this wing is like the only acceptable wing that can be drilled into this trunk. because it is an OEM original Nissan wing. So with that being said, I have this template that has the exact dimensions and measurements of where the holes need to be drilled. Before I drill the holes, I'll like test mount the wing on top and just get a good idea, just to make sure, you know, you can never be too careful with something like this. So the very first measurement we want to make is off of the edge of the trunk, and that is 94 millimeters. So from edge to edge, 94 millimeters. I'm gonna put a little line right here. That needs to be all the way down, so we're gonna connect those lines once we make another mark down here. Find something that you can use as a straight edge, and then just draw the lines. And now we need to know how far down the holes need to be drilled on this line. So the top hole is 112 millimeters from this edge of the trunk seam here down. So we have our micrometer set to 112 millimeters. The top measurement is at the edge of the seal of the trunk, and then all the way down 112 millimeters. This is going to be our top hole right here. So now that we have the top hole dimension figured out, we need to figure out how far down to drill the bottom hole. So let's take a look at the wing and measure the distance between the two studs. So when you're measuring the distance, you want to grab the midpoint of the stud. You don't want to like put the micrometer on top or below. It has to be right in the center. So from center point to center point, we're looking at 83 millimeters. So we bring our 83 millimeters here. We'll align the top of the micrometer to the upper hole that we figured out. And to the lower point, we'll make a little mark here. All right, so we've got our holes figured out on this side. Here's the top hole. Here's the bottom hole. And now we'll have to do the same thing for the other side. All right, so I went ahead and figured out the locations for this side. So now what I want to do is test mount the wing. All right, so I'd say that lines up pretty good. Try and show you under the wing. It's kind of hard to see the marks under there, but all 4 points are touching the studs, so that's really good. This is gonna look so good. Oh my gosh. All right, I guess it's time to make some big decisions. All right, before I drill this, I need to get approval from the boss.
It makes such a huge difference to see it with a wing.
Right?
Yeah, it looks good. I'm excited.
Whoop. So now we have two options for wings. This white wing is actually the wing that came off of my car. Maybe we'll just run mine for now since it's already white. So now to make this possible to mount the wing, to gain access to the bottom, because this is actually blocked off right here, I have drilled straight down from here all the way to the bottom. So now what I want to do is use this step bit just to bore out the hole enough that you can fit a socket through the hole to mount the wing. That way you don't have to worry about trying to fish your hand in there, and it's way easier just to bore it out just a little bit. It doesn't need to be crazy, and personally I think it works much nicer. So we've got all 4 holes made. I'm gonna mount the wing on here, and then we'll be able to access the bottom bolts. All right, so we've got the wing mounted, and a good rule of thumb is whenever you get something to bare metal, what you want to do is at least put primer on it and maybe even some paint. That way you're not gonna have rust build up and fight that later. So I'm gonna spray some primer on this before I put it all back together, but I'm not too worried about it because we do plan on painting her car very soon, so it's gonna be all taken apart very shortly anyways, so it's just a good habit to get into.